was that sense of possibility, that focus on what could be, and a willingness to take risks and do big things that I will always remember and treasure about Charles.
Impetuous, Homeric, and I think that's what Charles McGlashan was.
Our county is undoubtedly better for Charles having been here. I too am better for having had Charles as my friend, my colleague, and someone who contributed to my life as well as the life of the community.
Fully informed, having done all his homework, and because of that, he instilled trust. I trusted him.
Charles sort of represented Smokey the Bear to me. I would open the refrigerator door and I would say, would it be better to get the lemon and this at the same time, or open the refrigerator door twice, or which would save more? And I would think, what would Charles do?
I want to start with just a very short poem by Kahlil Gibran. And ever has it been that love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation.
Charles never lost the sweetness that I saw in Chucky, but any of you who ever opposed him on anything, and perhaps PG&E in particular, experienced the determination and strength that lay beneath the man who could also be lovable and diplomatic.
Chuck lived life fully. Though he left us far too early, he quaffed from the cup of life more deeply than anyone I know. And he would use words like quaffed, as many of you know. He did this, as many of you know him, when he soaked in life, and he did that with everything he did.
He was not a mediocre man. He was a visionary leader, a true environmentalist, a friend to both people and animals, and best friend to many. He had a wicked sense of humor, but also a very serious side. He was passionate, courageous, and also in touch with his 8-year-old inner child. He was a painted, blue-faced Scottish warrior on one hand and a budding Buddhist on the other.
You know, a name is a lot, and we heard about Chucky, and then Chuck, and Charles. But you know, in our world, the political world, he's Charles McGlashan, all one word. Whenever he came to Washington, my staff would fight to be the one that would be in the meeting with him. You always knew when Charles entered a room because the energy in the intellectual levels increased dramatically. This is such a tremendous loss for our community and for our county and for our country, because Charles McGlashan was our future.
Charles is Talmudic. Now, there are those who would say that the lost tribe of Israel are the Irish, but I think they're the Scottish. And I say that he's Talmudic because one of the things I've remembered from the Talmud is the following, that ours is not to complete the task, but neither is it for us not to begin it. And that was so much of how Charles approached his life and everything that he embraced.
He led with his big heart, his broad shoulders, his big old brain, without apology, without pretense, without backing down.
Stuart Mace, a great environmentalist, once said to his staff when some of them were getting a little smart of themselves, he said, brought out a little glass of water. He said, put your finger in the water, pull it out. Those of you who leave a hole are indispensable. Charles left a hole.
Charles was my prince, my partner, my comrade in arms, the most extraordinary human being I have ever known. We loved each other tenderly, fiercely, and fully. And both of us fully knew the extent to which we were loved by the other. I think this process would be unbearable if I thought he had not known. But he does know, and that provides me with extraordinary peace.
Ralph Waldo Emerson once asked a question, and he said, what would we do if the stars came out only once every 1,000 years? Of course, no one would sleep that night. We'd be ecstatic, delirious. We'd all be out on the mountain, rapturous to the glory of God. But instead, of course, most of us stay home and watch television, and the stars come out every night. But not Charles. Charles stayed up all night. This Marin Veterans Auditorium is not a church or a synagogue or a temple. It is a civic center, an auditorium designed by one of the great artists and architects of the 20th century. And extraordinary people have sang here, have performed here, have spoken here. And I would like to ask you to do something that is appropriate to this place, and to stand with me and give Charles his last standing ovation.
Charles, we are going to miss you so much, and what I keep telling everyone here today is that we're going to especially miss you when the good things happen, because you're not here to enjoy them with us. And we are going to keep the work going and work hard as ever to move the clean energy program forward, in Marin and beyond.
He was our rock, our inspiration, our leader, and we thank him so much. We're going to continue on for you, Charles, and we will just miss you very much. And thanks for all your commitment and all your work and all your time and all your passion. We wouldn't be here without you.
You know, when I think of Charles McGlashan, I think of the sun. Obviously because of his interest in renewable energy, but because of his high wattage, no holds smile.
We were just talking about how impossible it's going to be to fill Charles' shoes. We're so unsure how all of this passion and energy can be filled by one person. We think it's going to take a troop of many people to do what he did, to give us that sense of, purpose in life. It's just something it's so hard to replace.